We're back. What day is it? Methinks that it is Wednesday. How you doing, everybody? My name is Sean Shapiro. Looks like things are rock and roll all over the place here. All right, that's what I like to see. The technology cooperates. All right, here we go. I'm pressing save. Maybe that needs to happen. I'm not sure. Hope your week's going well. Mine certainly is, despite the fact that it is super cold. I'm not a big fan of super cold, but it is what it is. Now, I hope this is, well, I hope this doesn't turn out to be one of those things where many people figure out that super cold is super bad for driving. Not because it's chilly in your car, I don't like it. That's a thing. But I mean by tires. I mean, I hope that tires aren't the reason that you find that traction isn't great, because it's like driving around on a rock. That's what happens when you don't have snow tires. I know. People are like, there's no big deal, I'm fine. Okay. It's not as good as you might think. Anyway, I hope that you don't find out the wrong way that snow tires would have been helpful. Just saying. I've done, do I have a full article on it? I've discussed it, but I haven't really gone into detail. I don't think I've done a really like a long form article on it. Anyway, I was going down into a rabbit hole. Let's just double check that things are working and the live stream is living. It is. It's great. Okay, cool. So you may notice that in the background it says Barrett Legal. That is because Barrett Legal is our first official sponsor of the Ask a Traffic Cop show here at Better Traffic Safety and Education, which is BTSE or bettertraffic.ca. I've really not been talking about all this stuff, but you know, there are people who care about the dissemination of information. Yeah, people want us to help people be safe out on the road. They want to help fund us doing this on a full-time basis. Because you know what? It's one thing to hang out once in a while and do this for an hour, but it's become a full-time retirement job. And that I'm doing this all the time now. It's between writing articles and showing up on social media. I am a full-time content creator, and they're making it possible. They've stepped up and said, we want to support you, and that's awesome. So I thank you to the folks at Barrett Legal for supporting Ask a Traffic Cop and me. Carl Freeman says good morning. Toronto Roadcam says good morning. We've got Tien who says, first, out of order, but we've got Chase who says good morrow. He was first one in. Minraj says hi. Chase says, damn it, I have to file my taxes. And oddly enough, Barrett Legal has Barrett Tax Law. They have a division that does that. They have accountants and all sorts of things. And not an ad, that wasn't planned, but you said you have to file your taxes, so I figured I'd throw it in there. Tien says good morning, everyone. And Tien said good morrow, everyone, and then corrected and said, sorry, good morning. Is that the wrong term? Whatever term you want to use for the magical morning stuff, it's more than welcome. I see we've got a bunch of folks jumping in on the Instagram. It was on Instagram today. I actually posted a picture on Instagram this morning of my breakfast. I made a bunch of eggs and I poured what may have looked like a mountain of hot sauce. Third Degree hot sauce is awesome, and it's not public. I don't think it's available outside of commercial restaurant supply. So I picked it up, or I was gifted it for Christmas from my buddy Rob, who bought me a 3.7 liter jug of it, and it's almost all gone. I like hot sauce. I put that stuff on everything, and I know Frank says they put that stuff on everything, but yeah, Frank's is like ketchup, and Third Degree actually has flavor and I enjoy it. So while Frank's is wonderful if I can't get good stuff, Third Degree is my go-to. So yeah, thank you, Third Degree. If you go to most wing places, they're using Third Degree in the kitchen. That's what they're putting on everything. And glasses back on here. Gotta try to put glasses on while you're wearing headphones. It is not a good thing. Anyway, yeah. All right. So, of course, this is a show and we're going to put the clock on the screen because we got the 45 of questions, and then we'll do dad jokes if they exist. Let's put that 45-minute timer on. Cool. Keeps me going on. I'm hoping to add a whole bunch of names to the background here as more people come on as sponsors. I know we're talking to some magical companies who want to help us out, and it's amazing. Anyway, let's so things will keep looking different. We'll keep updating and changing and developing, and all of it's awesome. All right, what do we got here? We got Nicholas with questions of magic and merriment. You're a character in your favorite cop movie. What movie is it, and who are you playing? Oh, that's a tough one, man. Like, I would say Chips, but Chips the movies kind of sucked. Chips the series was amazing, and all the movies that came after were less good. When we talk about cop movies, I talked about Lethal Weapon being one amazing, but I don't think I'd want if this was adopting real life. I wouldn't want to be Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon because I don't want to live on a beach in L.A. in a motorhome because my life sucks. No, his character was seriously flawed. It made it awesome, but he had issues. So yeah, no, his backstory was terrible. Ugh. Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. Maybe that would be more my speed. I don't know. We have to think about this, Nicholas. You always come up with these crazy questions, and I appreciate you for them. Good morning from Cornwall, Ontario. That's W. Lee Hart. I'm assuming it's W. Lee Hart as opposed to Willie Hart. Willie? I don't know. You let me know which one is right. And they love spicy food. Me too, love my spicy food. I like spicy food of all kinds, truly. I've tried the one chip challenge. My partner, my buddy at Traffic Services and we thought we were going to die. Now, people have actually died, hospitalized as a result of the one chip challenge. He and I thought we were going to die. It was bad. It wasn't even spicy whilst consuming it. It was the cold sweats and the delirium that came afterwards. It was bad. And of course we were both sick to our stomachs. Yeah. That's just torture. That's not spicy food. That is next level, not cool. Okay. Here Now 905 says the warehouse store sells it, the one owned by Loblaws. The warehouse store sells it? Oh, like the what's it called? The host, what is it called? Okay, who knows what this is called? They're owned by Loblaws. I think there's one I've driven by that's next to Price Choppers, and it's the corporate. So it's similar. They're trying to be the restaurant supply. Yeah, that would make sense that they have it. I know the only Costco that has it, and likely where my buddy got it, is from the one that sells the restaurant supplies. Like, they even have like deep fryers there. They are the business one. I believe it's on Eglinton in Scarborough. I think that's their location. I've been there a couple of times. It's awesome. You need like plastic wrap that you can wrap a body in. That's the place you go. That wasn't awkward. Okay, let's see here. We've got creator Steve joined. Hello, David 2065. How's it going? Trinity Education. I'm assuming Trinity Ed. Is that maybe just Trinity Ed, not Trinity Education? Morning. Can you please go over all the costs of non-functioning brake lights for all the viewers? The fine itself, the tow and impound costs of new plates and recertification of a vehicle. Okay, so actually very interesting that you go there, because it is an unsafe vehicle if you have no functioning brake lights. If it's daytime, could you get away with using hand signals? I would suggest towing. So let's talk about it though. So the fact that you don't have functioning brake lights, if you press the brakes and nothing happens, the vehicle's unsafe. It shouldn't be driven. It wouldn't meet certification. And that's where Trinity Ed is talking about the fact that it's an unsafe vehicle, which could result in you having your plates pulled and needing a certification again. And then having to pay. There's no impound, but you'd have to be towed. But would you have to be? Because you could potentially say, we get you towed, but we won't take your plates because you're unsafe. Or, park your vehicle off the side of the road, or call CAA because they probably could come and put bulbs in. Like, it doesn't have to result in towing it. And well, there is no impound for it, but it doesn't have to result in it. But at very least, you're looking at $110 for improper taillights. But it is unsafe. And then it becomes discretion of an officer. And here's where discretion, I think, is good, because the average person who, has probably been driving with one taillight out, which is legal. You only need one taillight to be legal, but you have to have at least one. So you've been driving around for 6 months with one and too lazy to change the other, or you never did a circle check and looked into the safety of your vehicle. So now you're being told you can't drive away. But the hand signals are legal, but it's not safe for the road. Oh, it's a dilemma. Most cops would probably say, hand signal to get to the parking lot, and then go get it fixed or call someone or call CAA or something. Like, there's got to be a solution. Most coppers probably wouldn't pull your plates for it, even though they'd be within their rights to. It's an unsafe vehicle. Could you imagine the collision because the person in front of you didn't notice that you were stopping, even though you were stopping because, hey, you have no lights on? And who really looks for a hand sticking out in minus 30 temperatures like what we're seeing today? Yeah, I don't think people are primed to do that. Anyway, I love the question. I love the comment. And now you said Club Pack. Club Pack is the name of the club. But what you made me think of when I saw that comment is that what I do with bulbs is I carry spares. They come in 2-packs. If you buy 2 packs of 2, if you're replacing one bulb. One, because if you're going to replace one, I replace both. If my left goes out, I change my right too, because it's just a matter of time till the other one goes. So put fresh bulbs and change both of them. The second thing I do is I keep a spare set, and I have a toolkit in my car in case I need to change bulbs, because it happens, and you don't want to be told you're going to get towed. Just fix it right there. Nobody's going to lay it. Probably not going to lay a charge if you're going to fix it right then and there. Get your hands dirty. Cold Laker in the house. That's because I'm reading and it says Cold Laker in the house. Lisa, how you doing? I jumped on. I keep seeing Lisa's live streams recently, so whenever I see them, I jump on and say hello. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh. Hello, my favorite cop on a Wednesday. Lisa, thanks so much. I am, but in your live yesterday, you said I was your second favorite cop next to Randy. I'll take it. It's okay. But I appreciate you. What is this? I got Akela who says, did you miss my intro and jokes? Apparently they did not show up. So if you can send those again, I will flag them for later. Akela is my friend who loves to share dad jokes, Star Wars dad jokes, and interesting quotes, and we'll talk about those at the end of the show, part of the outro. If you have dad jokes or things you want to include, by all means, send them, tag them, put them down, put either a hashtag or dad joke as the marker, so I know it's that, and I'll flag it without reading it and ruining the joke. Yes. And Lisa, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. So if you don't already know this, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. We're on all the platforms pretty much. We're probably going to start rolling out on Kick and what is the other one? Oh, come on. What's the other one? There's Kick, which came out because the other one, can't think of it. Drawing a blank. Anyway, we're trying to be on as many platforms as possible. So if you want to have the full widescreen on your TV experience, YouTube is the one to go to. And of course, you can still chat there. X, you can chat. LinkedIn, you can chat. Wherever you feel most comfortable, you can be there. And speaking of X, Manraj says, any message of pedestrians of Toronto, as most pedestrians do not care. They cross the street at last second crosswalk, even though when they have right of way, they still, for their own safety, they should look for oncoming traffic. Okay. That's a lot to digest. And apparently on X, you can have very long comments. So if your questions are always cut off on TikTok, you can go to X, which is VoiceOver Cop 2. Anyway, here's the deal. Pedestrians don't always have the right of way. I know people think they do, but they don't. I was recently on with Shane Hewitt on News Talk 1010, the night shift, talking about pedestrians just walking into traffic, not giving people the opportunity, people being drivers as opposed to people being pedestrians. People are people, but people in the cars are often treated very poorly by pedestrians. I know pedestrians have a gripe with motor vehicle drivers, but if you don't let drivers drive and you create traffic jams because you're too entitled and you don't, allow for a gap for the car that's been waiting for 10 minutes for the sea of pedestrians to leave. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is if you're legally in the road, you're legally in the road. But if you step off while a car is turning, it's not the car's fault. It's your fault. And you can be charged for failing to yield to a vehicle that's turning. Yeah. Pedestrians just assume. Chase says, I think it's time to get Sergeant Campbell on the show as a special guest. I don't disagree. I think first of all, I miss Murray. I haven't seen him since I left. We've spoken by chat, text a little bit, but That's it. So I think it's a great idea. And once we move into the office, so I've been doing this from home, but we with the help of Barrett Legal, we are moving into an office studio that's been sort of in the works for a while, but it's actually happening. And maybe that's when we start doing more with more guests in studio, because it'll actually be a studio. Okay. Lisa had yogurt and berries for breakfast. That sounds yummy. Okay. So Akila was in 10 minutes before the show, and for some reason it did not accept the messages. Weird. Okay. Raj says, I believe it's a different Raj. Rajiv NT says, oh, good morning. Is it legal to drive with parking lights on during the day, not full headlights? I mean, for example, the round circular around the headlamp in some modern cars. So you can drive with your full headlighting system or any combination thereof other than your high beams during the day. There's no law that says you can't have your lights on. If you mean the halos, those in some vehicles are your daytime running lights. So I don't know exactly. I can't confirm what you're talking about. It might be, because it's so different in different vehicles. Some of them use an illuminated marker that doesn't really project light, but it helps the vehicle be seen, and that's a daytime running light of sorts. Then there's, in some vehicles, low-powered high beams that are your daytime running lights. Those are, of course, you can't turn them off. So vehicles manufactured after a certain date all have daytime running lights. So yes, you can have those on. So really what you're asking is something I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm trying to decode. By all means, rephrase it if you wish, if I didn't answer what you were hoping to answer or get answers to. Okay, here's some dad jokes. I see. At least, okay, registered for the 11th. Thank you. Okay, a quote for later, dad joke for later. Wholesale Club. That's what it's called? Wholesale Club? All right. Price Chopper still exists. Yes, Chase. In certain jurisdictions, it does, in fact, exist. Although I got to tell you, I went to a Price Choppers because I needed a salad last minute, and I wanted a fancy salad. They don't have fancy salads. And they said, well, we have these salads. And it was what was it? It was a Caesar salad. And my kid said, I want Caesar salad. Okay, we'll buy it. It was half price. It was marked down. Don't buy marked down salad. It was gross. And it was on the verge of spoil. And I bought two of them because it was half price. And I figured, we'll eat two of them. I ate one, threw out half of it, threw out the next one, didn't even bother. So I wasted the money. And I felt crappy about it. Manraj says, most new drivers don't know hand signals. How is that possible? How is that possible? Okay, apparently we're going to have to do a video on hand signals to let everyone know what's up. Okay, Trinity Ed says, Club Pack is the Loblaws restaurant supply store here in Durham. Okay, I did not know. I do not frequent Durham, so good to know. Peter John Williams says, hi, Sean, just wanted you to know that your show helped me learn so much about the HTA and helped me pass my OPC equivalent test. Okay, that's cool. So I'm so glad to hear that, Peter. That is really, I'm taking a picture. I'm taking a picture because that's the kind of stuff, feathers in my cap. I'm so glad. So are you done OPC? Are you on the road? What's your story? And you said equivalent test. OPC equivalent. So you came in from another service as an experienced officer? Tell me more. I want to know, Peter. Looking forward to hearing more about your story. Okay. Let's go and see what's happening here. Inmate DB 1975 says, absolutely love your show. I don't know how I feel about it being shown in jail, but whatever the case is, awesome. Thank you for the shout out there. All right, let's scroll back. Oh, Jacob, I can't wait to address your questions. He's upset that his tax dollars are paying me right now. Who wants to tell him that he's not reading what says on the screen? Okay. Scrolling back. OV Police says, hello, my friend. Hello back at you. Kota wants to know what my thoughts are on cars with camber. Minor camber from factory or from some level of customization is legitimate. It's okay. There's a standard within it's where it's acceptable and safe. But cars that are running on the corner, the edge, where's my example? Here's my 1979 to 1980 Perlis map book. So if this is your tire profile and you're running it so the road surface is here, as opposed to using all of this available space, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Because when you're riding on that corner, you have a small, tiny contact patch, but you're riding the sidewall and causing damage. So if you're doing extreme camber, it's illegal. It's unsafe. I'd pull you off the road if I was a cop still, which to address the complainer who was worried about his tax dollars at work. I'm no longer a police officer, but it's probably a good time to reintroduce myself. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I retired from the Toronto Police Service at the end of August, and I do this now. I was doing it just because I was doing it, but now we've got the fine folks at Barrett Legal who have stepped up and decided they want to sponsor us to help get the word out, to help educate people about stuff and things, police stuff, traffic law, and traffic safety. They're really behind it because they want the roads to be safe, and they want you to be safe, and they want me to be safe. So if we're all being safe because we know stuff before we do stuff, we don't get charged for stuff. Anyway, that's who I am. That's who they are. And if you got legal stuff, you should probably call them because they do everything from tax law to general law and law. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know this stuff. Okay, let's go back and look at, is it legal to have your phone on maps in your cup holder? I'm glad you brought that up. We were talking about this. I was talking about it over the weekend with a friend of mine, John. John, what's going on, John? The deal with cup holder is it's not a secure attachment. So no, it's not legal. Now, John is arguing that it shouldn't, that it's not permissible to use your phone in maps mode at all, regardless of the situation. So the fine folks at Barrett Legal are actually working to decode this for me. I've sent them an email. I said, I want to settle this dispute. But what we've been saying, and I continue to say until we can figure out definitively the answer, is that you can use your phone in map mode to display the map software, not anything else, if it's securely attached. A suction, a cup mount, a cup holder mount. But like mine has a cup holder with an arm, and it's securely mounted. It does not move. As opposed to in your cup holder where you have to look down away from the road in order to see your maps, which would be pointless and dangerous, and don't do that. So in your cup holder, simply resting in there is not secure attachment and not legal. It's all, not good. And most people don't have to deal with that because they have CarPlay or Android Auto to get that image on the screen, where it is legal on the infotainment system, which other people argue about separately. Anyway, W. Lee Hart. I'm going with W. Lee Hart. Says, I grow habanero peppers and make salsa sauce. Is it hot? Is it good? That sounds good. What do you put it with? Like, I do tacos at home a lot. We do Taco Tuesdays. Sometimes it's Taco Mondays, but we do tacos a lot here. My kids love it. And good salsa is important. Now, we grew peppers in my backyard last year, and they weren't so wonderful. I'm going to try again this year. All right. Snake Guy Athena says, morning, Sean. Do cops get frustrated when you report them on apps like Waze? I did a video on traffic services, which is the Toronto Police channel that I started. And it's still there. You can go watch the video. But I report police as not being there. I report police as being there, depending on the situation. If they're working a collision, I want people to slow down. I report it. If they're doing enforcement, I report them as not there because I want people who speed to get caught. I know people say, why do you want them to get caught? Because I want them to know that it's not legal to do what they're doing. If they get caught, they get a ticket, they probably stop doing it. So do we care if you report us when we're out there working? It used to be like prior to TikTok, that was me being famous. People know me now because of TikTok, but I used to feel special. If I had laser and I was running speed enforcement and I saw on my own ways that I had been reported, not only did I report that I wasn't there, but I thought it was like I used to send my wife screenshots of it. Hey, I'm famous. I've got reported. Anyway. Yeah. What do we got here? Stephen Chef Food followed me. Thank you very much, Stephen. Appreciate the follow. Oh, Peter John Williams says, used to be an MP and now got a job policing in Ontario. Congratulations. Starting in March. Awesome. Whereabouts are you going in Ontario? Would love to know. And stay in touch. DM me. I'd love to know more about your story. Maybe we talk. Maybe you come onto our podcast. We're going to relaunch a podcast, and maybe you jump on the podcast and tell me about your experiences coming from MP to policing in civilian world, because so many people ask me about it. I know nothing about the MP world, so I'd love to have a chat with you. Anyway, moving on. But again, congratulations. And thank you for your service, your military service. Okay. Ashley says, what do you think about the Bad Boy movies? Oh, Bad Boys. Bad Boys for Life. Before Will Smith was an idiot on stage, I really loved those movies. Really loved them. But less so now. I still love them. And even the latest one, the reboot, was a lot of fun to watch, but bad taste in my mouth. And his wife's name was nowhere near my mouth. And that experience has destroyed him for me as an actor that I can respect. All right. Rich says, Sean, keep up the great work. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. Thoughts on a car that's straight pipe? That's from JJ Indicut. Okay. A straight pipe car has no muffler, has no resonator. It's a straight pipe from the cats, if the cats haven't been removed, to the back of the vehicle. It rumbles. It sounds good sometimes, depending on the car. However, it's illegal. You have to have a muffler. It makes too much noise, and it's usually considered obnoxious. Now, muscle cars of yesteryear might even be legal like that, depending on when they were manufactured. They might have a smog pump instead of a cat. They might have, like, if it was legal for the vehicle that you own based on the year it was manufactured, it could be okay. It may even sound cool. But most of the time they sound obnoxious, especially if it's the newer vehicles. Just don't sound right. But illegal. Straight pipes will get you a ticket for improper muffler, for no muffler. Yeah. So it's Lee. W. Lee Hart is Lee. We got it. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Toronto Roadcam says, you see Trump gave Mel Gibson a role in his admin. I did hear about that. I don't know. There was a period of time when I was not a fan of Mel Gibson because of things he had said publicly, and I don't know how to walk that back and like him again, but he's done some good things recently. I'm up and down. I'm back and forth. I don't know. Dogs hockey, double right turning lane. Can both lanes turn right in red? Did I not respond? I thought you emailed me or messaged me. I thought I responded. Maybe it was somebody else. But I've seen you before, so I see you again, and welcome back. If you have two right turn lanes and there's no sign prohibiting either or both of them from making right turns on reds, both of them can make right turn on red, assuming there's no sign. They come to a complete stop and they proceed only when it's safe to do so and into the appropriate lane. So the right turn lane at the curb must turn into the curb lane on the next street. The one over has to be end up in the lane beside the curb lane, not in the curb lane, not in the left turn lane. They have to go to the appropriate place. Otherwise, it's improper turn. However, it is legal to make a right turn on red in Ontario from both lanes. I grew up thinking it was illegal. I honestly thought it was wrong. I thought I could only do it from the curb lane. Don't know why I thought that. And of course, I was wrong. I was 16 and I had an assumption. But later on, I found out what was what. Okay. Jeffrey says, what can we do about highway safety on Highway 11 and 17? What specifically are we talking about? Like, there's so many things. For me, it's all based on traveling at the speed limit, following the laws and all that jazz, because those are the things that were created to keep us all safe. And if other people aren't following those rules, we have a problem. It makes the environment unsafe. Now, Highway 11 being Yonge Street, 17, I'm not familiar with, but those are streets that go through communities, right? It's not they're all highways, but it's not an expressway like people might think it is. So, yeah, I would engage your local police, which is probably the OPP. Talk to them about traffic safety measures that they can employ to help keep your community safe. Nicholas with another question that is no doubt going to be interesting. Have you ever pulled over someone for speeding, but turns out the person you pulled over has multiple what? I want to know. All right, coming back to Chase. Question. Chase usually has doozies. When you're driving on a road with a median, there will sometimes be cutouts for drivers to make left turns. If a school bus has lights on in the situation, would both sides have to stop? So a median, like where a light standard is mounted, or a flower box for 10 feet, does not make it a divided road. A divided road is truly two sets of roads, one way in either direction. 401 is a good example of a divided highway. There are areas in where you have a divided road, where there's a large grassy knoll between, but that grassy knoll has to continue. It's not just 10 feet. It's continuous separation. So it's not that the other traffic doesn't have to stop if there's a bush in a planter in the tiny little divider. It's got to be the road. If you look at pretty much any street in Toronto, you're likely looking at a undivided road, unless you see physical barriers, and those barriers should be consistent for the entire stretch. All right, what do we got? We got to take this off the screen. Chase continues to say, I have, to be honest, plenty of modern cars have their bulbs integrated LEDs, so you have to replace the whole unit. Yes, obviously, if that is a situation where you can't fix it roadside, you're SOL. Lisa says, I still admire you. Thank you very much. Billy Kirkwood says, amazing, Sean. Watching on a flight live on LinkedIn. Billy, that's amazing. Live on flight. And where are you flying to and from? Because are you in Scotland? Billy, if I've got it right, you just won this year's competition, and you are a Radio Star winner for 2024. Was it 24? 25 just happened, so it's 24. Yeah, amazingness. Unless I got the wrong Billy Kirkwood, but anyway. Yeah, now I'm questioning myself. Comedian, radio guy, yeah. Social media creator, yeah. Okay, Chase says, that's interesting. X allows for very long comments, so they even get cut off on our YouTube live chat. Did not know that. To know though. But when I put it on screen, everyone sees. All right. What do we got here? Brad Clark says, I constantly get flashed because my LED headlights in my truck. Could I be pulled over for this? I get flashed because of my LED headlights. If you have replaced your incandescent or halogen bulbs with an LED like from Amazon, and it's producing more light than is legal, yeah. If it's not directed properly and you're blinding people, then yes, you can. That is an issue. If you are, you could definitely be pulled over for stuff and things like this. Dogs Hockey says, watch Joe Rogan with Mel Gibson. He sort of explains those crazy days. Good to know. I would like to watch that. 3 hours of my life watching that. I don't know. Need some coffee. Okay, Jacob, this is the question I was making fun of earlier. They said, are you being paid by taxpayers to be on here? Jacob follows with another comment saying, my tax dollars. The answer is no. No, I was when I was a police officer. I did that for years, and it was the best. It was the best money police could spend to educate the largest number of people with one officer speaking directly to other people. Best investment ever. I don't do that anymore because I'm no longer a police officer. I'm no longer employed by the Toronto Police Service. However, this is not your tax dollars. This is my time. And now my time is supported by the fine folks at Barrett Legal, who you can see on screen. They are a law firm who wanted to help fund and continue what I was doing on a more consistent basis. Instead of once in a while, they'd like me to do it all the time. And they want to help police agencies across Canada with their traffic safety messaging. So they're really undertaking to do a lot, but we're still looking for more sponsors. If you know somebody who would like to help contribute to keep the lights on, to keep me talking, and create programs to educate kids, there's lots that we want to do. They're helping me do it. All right. We got Gwyn Johnson who says, hello, TikTok ex-cop Sean. Brock Vegas here. What's going on? Brock Vegas. Love it. We got, how old am I? I gonna be mysterious on the road. That's Big Red Speed. Although I do like the traffic icon. I don't get what your question is. All right. Frankie Big Daddy says, hey, Sean, it's Frankie from EY Towing. I haven't seen you in 20 years. I will DM you. God bless. No kidding. Is it? Yeah, DM me. I'm trying to figure out when it would have been, where we would have seen each other last. Tell me, yeah, remind me, bring it on back. I haven't been on the road in a while, so I'm sure it's been a while. If it was from policing, if it's from something else, let me know. I know people. People know me. All right. Brad Clark 47 says, I think you gave me DUI back in the day. What day? What year? You tell me, and I'll tell you if it was me. As I'm going through my Rolodex of charges, where was it? It may have been me. It's possible. Here Now 905 says, snow buildup on rear of car from driving in snow. How long do you have to clear it? Okay, this is really a good question. So the question is, when you're driving on the road and snow is building up, you cleared the snow from your vehicle, but snow is actively piling up in your car. If it's active, it's fresh. I've never pulled anybody over for snow covering their license plate or blocking something if it's not blocking their lights, which is rare. Usually the snow buildup tends to be, just falling snow. That's reasonable that it happens. Every other car around you is going to have pretty much the same thing. Where it's not reasonable is when the packed snow, like someone's mushed down the snow from the morning, or it's clear that the snow from overnight wasn't cleared. That's different. So every time you get into your vehicle having stopped, so if you, not, I mean stopped at a stop sign, I mean stopped like you parked and got out of the vehicle and did something, got back in. That's when you should be updating and freshly wiping down all the snow. If it's fresh accumulation on the road, that's not a problem. If it's stuff that we can clearly see is packed on from 3 weeks of, let's make sure we don't get 407 tickets and they mash down the snow on top of the license plate, that's different. And we can see that because we're not idiots. But that's the deal. You should be fine. What is going on here? Big Red Speed says, I recently lost my license because I got no insurance ticket. That's not good. Jacob says we need to fire all police officers and hire new ones with some integrity. Jacob, I'm not going to be mean. I'm going to try not to be mean. If you think that all police officers are without integrity, you are generalizing. You also don't know police officers, because I can tell you, having served with police officers, that 99.99%, and I know that's not a real number, it's saying that the vast majority, if not almost all of them, are magical human beings who risk their lives every day going out and protecting others, putting themselves in high-risk situations to keep the public safe. Those people have integrity. The odd one doesn't. The odd one is crooked or bad or lazy or dumb or whatever the case is. But the vast majority are amazing human beings. And you want those people serving you. You don't fire an entire police service because you think that they don't have integrity. You don't know what you're talking about, frankly. The people who go out there, who say goodbye to their loved ones every morning and don't know if they're coming home, those people have integrity. Those people are special heroes who every day serve their communities. Yeah, I'm gonna not continue down this because I don't want to get pissed off. But people don't appreciate police as much as they should. They used to. They don't anymore. And it's because the media has done some really crappy things. They focus on the negative. They don't focus on the positive. And there's way more stories that are positive than negative, but it doesn't sell papers. Yeah, we can go on for hours about this. But I also have a friend who was murdered because he's a police officer. So how does that work? He was the best of the best. Yeah. There's also bad lawyers and bad doctors and bad clergymen and bad teachers and just bad people. People are the problem, not police officers. All people have the potential of being bad. Moving on. All right. What do we got here? Wait, did you retire because of how your social media took over? Oil lands money. No, actually. I retired because my family needed me at home. I needed to be more flexible and available for family that has greater needs of me. And because if I left before I turned 50, it changed the way things worked for my retirement. But I had to make a decision before I turned 50. So days before I turned 50, I left. I had originally planned on staying there till normal retirement at 58, which is my early retirement, or 60 or later, because I loved what I did. I love what I do. I love helping people. So policing, greatest gig in the world. If you have an opportunity to become a police officer, if that's your passion, 100% go for it. Police agencies across North America are looking for good people who want to serve their communities. If that sounds like you, or if you're in the Toronto area and you want to be joining the best police service in the world, www.tps.ca/careers. Find out what available positions are posted. I haven't gone and looked at what they're hiring for recently. I used to do that every show. Anyway. Yeah, policing, best job. I've thought about going back, but I need it here. But I thought about going back. I can go back, except for the fact that I'm needed here. Anyway, I left for a reason. Let's see here. Okay. Good morning, Greg Smith. Good morning, Sean. Your beard is looking better and better. Keep up your great work. You're a fellow brother on two wheels. Thank you, Greg. It's funny. I've been thinking about beard. I've been gone for 140 days from policing, which means I have not, other than a minor trim on the sides, not really updated the beard very much. This is by far the longest my beard has ever been in my life. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm kind of proud of the fact that my follicles were capable of growing this majestic thing. But at the same time, I don't know if it's the right look. Maybe I need to be back to be a little more, I don't know. It's up in the air. I might have to make a video about it and ask the audience. But to me, my father hates it. He says, "You look old." I'm like, I'm trying things out. I've always been governed by a rule book, uniform standards guide that said you can't have a long beard. Never even thought about growing a long beard. And yet, here I am with a long beard. Do I go CZ top? Do I go to my navel? Like, how long is too long? My wife thinks that's too long. All right. replacing LED is more trouble to replace. Yes, I've looked at some conversion kits that are a pain in the butt. Like I thought about it. I looked into it. Not interested. Quentin, who says, good morning to you. And then I'm taking a practice run at Popat on Friday. What service is, so I'm not familiar with Popat, but I'm assuming it's a police standard for somewhere. So let me know where that is. And good luck to you on your process to become a police officer, if that's in fact what it is. Okay. When the speed sign says 100, do I speed up to 100 after the sign, or can I get to 100 before it? If it says 100 begins and that's the speed sign, and you speed up before the speed sign, somebody might be sitting there with a laser device waiting for you to speed before the sign. The sign only becomes in effect where it says begins. If it says 80 begins and you decide to continue or start to slow down after the 80 sign, you are now speeding and you'd be eligible for a ticket. And that's usually a 20-kilometer gap, usually. So don't do that, because some places will put a police officer there to drive home the concept of understand what those signs mean. So you're on the right track for asking, and I appreciate you asking for it, because that clarification is important if you want to avoid fines. By the way, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. If you're watching on TikTok, please tap the screen and send love to the show, because it does help people find us on Instagram. No, on TikTok, because I'm talking about TikTok. On Instagram, I don't even know what the heck drives their algorithm. It's a very strange place. But on if you think what I'm doing is important, if you want to help more people, share it. Share the live, send it to people, let people in your life know, because that endorsement, that saying that you believe in what I'm doing, really goes a long way. It really helps people, and I get so many emails and messages that I've either helped someone or saved them from confusion, or even just answered and solved a little battle between husband and wife who are arguing about the laws in a particular area. Whatever the case is, I'm here to help you. I just want to make sure that you know stuff before you do stuff, so you don't get charged for breaking a rule you didn't even understand. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I can help you, then I am happy. And if I can help more, I'm even happier. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Man Rush says, one fine morning I decided to use a hand signal, but the other driver got confused and he showed me the middle finger. I could see that being a thing. Oh, I said price choppers, and now maybe I meant, what's the other one? It's, I don't know what it's called now. I thought it was price choppers. Maybe it's not price choppers. Anyway, what is the other place called? It's like Joe's. It's a place that sells food. What is it called? What is the other chain that is not Price Choppers that sounds like Price Choppers that I'm thinking of and misnamed? Anyway, maybe I was wrong about calling it Price Choppers earlier. Okay. We got need advanced driving skills for bad weather. Drivers are terrible in bad weather. What's my opinion? Yes. The truth is we have bad drivers, period. We have people who are entitled, not respecting the rules of the road at all, like choosing to follow the ones that they like, or just, maybe it's luck. Even a broken clock can be, accurate twice a day. So if you've got someone following the rules, you might just be following them at the right time. By accident, they happen to do the right thing. But we do not have sufficient training or standards to create good drivers. And then we distract the crap out of them with all the technology we give them, especially the worst one being their cell phone. People are addicted to them. It's a problem. So yeah, I think advanced driving courses would be amazing. Thank you for that, Northern Bear 67. Okay, I'm really still stuck on this whole no price choppers thing. What the heck was I talking about? It was in a time warp. Speaking of time warp, I just watched the first two episodes of the reboot of Doctor Who. I don't know how I feel about it. I've been watching Doctor Who since I was a kid. Am I a Whovian? Maybe not. I mean, I kind of sort of am. I love the show. I love the premise, but I haven't watched everything. But I'm used to like 1974 Doctor Who and a couple of snippets in between. And then the newest Doctor Who is different. And actually, I love the actor who plays Doctor Who. I don't know how I feel about it. I want to see what my daughter thinks. Anyway. Oh. Lisa says, you haven't had Indian tacos yet. So good. I haven't had Indian tacos. And Lisa's talking about native Indian tacos. I'm assuming because we've talked about native food. Oh. Akela, you're right. We haven't had lunch in a while, and he says we have to go to a Druxy's. Druxy's isn't the bad. There are other places like at Bathurst and Steeles and Bathurst, and near or Avenue Road. Anyway, in north end of Toronto, some really good delicatessens. All right, Evandro, my good friend from the Auxiliary Police, the Peel Auxiliary Police. We recently attended, or he organized, and I attended his recruiting event. Was on Saturday. It's good. It was real good. Oh, this is a question that always comes up, and it's from Evandro. But what is the height limit that can be changed on a pickup truck to make it taller? I believe it's 3 inches maximum lift, and then you can't get certified if you go taller than that. Like there's some maximums. So people, what they do is they get certified, then they modify them beyond that, and then you can't transfer ownership because it won't pass certification, which oddly enough means it's not safe for the road. But I believe it's 3 inches lift. That might be body lift as opposed to suspension lift, but that's the number that's in my head. Can someone drive a truck with dump bed open if carrying a load larger than the size of the bed? Dump bed? You mean pickup truck bed? A dump truck open? Like, how do you mean? What kind of vehicle are we talking about? Truly a dump truck and there's just no net top securing it? You got to give me more. Kenny R wants to know what happens when you slide on black ice into a traffic light and the officer doesn't give you a ticket, but they replace the traffic light. What? So that's a collision. I don't know why they wouldn't have given you a ticket, because generally speaking, that's a ticketable offense. You failed to stop, and even though it was you lost control because you're driving too fast for the conditions, the officer cut you a break. You don't have to lay charges in every situation, but that's usually resulting in a ticket. But what happens? The city will likely contact you and say you owe that money, or they'll take it up with your insurance, but you're at fault for it still. It's not an oopsie-doo. It's not an act of God. Akela says he's got a hard stop at 11 o'clock, and so do I, because I have a meeting shortly thereafter. Okay. Back to the TikTok. And just a quick look here. Oddly enough, Brad Clark, who says I gave him a DOI back in the day, thinks that we never responded. So maybe he gave up on that. Okay. Hi, the lane which are designated for taxi, bus, bike, and downtown can Uber drive use to or not? That's from Azik. I'm guessing as I don't know how to pronounce the 3 letters you've got. No, you cannot, because you are not taxis. You are rideshare. You are private cars that are doing other things. It is not legal to use multi-use lanes for taxi because you're not a taxi. You don't have a taxi license. Just like you can't use the HOV other than when you have a passenger. Like taxis can use HOV, and limos can use HOV even if they're solo. You're a rideshare, it is not okay. Randy McNaught is trying to help me with the name of the store that I'm trying to think of, and it's not working. Let me see here. What's the name of the cheap grocery? Let's see here. I'm asking my wife because she knows stuff. Hopefully. Which doctor are you watching? I don't know the name. Ecclestone? I don't know. It's the one we were watching on Disney last night. Okay. If you're watching, you don't know who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I used to work for the Toronto Police Service in the Traffic Safety Programs Unit. I was their media relations and traffic education guy. And then I left. And now I'm here because I still want to get you that education. And I want to expand the program to help police agencies across Canada and eventually the United States do what I'm doing. Help and engage and answer all the questions you might have about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. So if you don't already follow me, please do. If you got somebody in your life who might benefit from knowing stuff and things, please share my channel with them. Doesn't matter what platform. We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. We're everywhere. You can also get a lot of information that I have on trafficcop.ca. I have links to all sorts of articles and pages within the government, how to renew your license, how to renew your plates, how to, well, actually, a lot of that's changed, but it's the updated stuff I keep track of there. And you can even find stuff like if you get a ticket, you don't understand how to use the court process, there's a document that the government gives. I link to it. It's understanding the provincial offenses court. Yeah. All right. Benny says, can green cars drive in any HOV lane? What are the rules around green cars in HOV lane? When you say green cars, do you mean painted green? I hope you don't mean painted green. Green cars, it's green plated vehicles. You need to have a green plated vehicle. Just because it is fuel efficient doesn't mean it qualifies. So if you have a mild hybrid, it does not qualify as a green plated vehicle. To get a green plate in Ontario, you have to have a hydrogen or plug-in electric or full electric vehicle. That's it. If you don't have those, you can't have it. Now, interesting thing, the Ford Lightning, which is a pickup truck, qualifies for green plates. The Hummer, actually, I was going to say the Cybertruck does not. Hummer EV, I don't know. I came out of my mouth before I could get the thoughts together. So the Cybertruck is not eligible to use the HOV lanes solo. They have to have 2 passengers or more, which is interesting. That's like the only reason I want to have an electric vehicle is to use that lane. So I might have to get a Lightning. Just saying. And that's specifically 400 series highways. If you're talking about the ones that are in the city of Toronto, those have a wonderful legend that hangs above them, a sign that explains what that multi-use lane is for. It's really a bus lane and 3-person lane, not a 2-person like the HOV. It's also used for motorcycle. You have to read the rules, and it's posted on the sign, and each one could have a different rule. So if you think you can use motorcycles in all of them, you could be wrong because it depends on the road you're on. Multi-use diamond lane. Okay. With winter here, let's talk about lazy people causing hazard by not cleaning the snow off the car. Stephen Johnson, yes, horrible. A couple extra seconds. Make sure you have a snow brush. Make sure you use it. Clear off all the snow. I don't care if you don't have to chisel the stuff that's hard packed on your roof. It's better too because those sheets of ice either melt and fall in front of you when you come to a stop or fly off in a big sheet into someone's window. That can be a problem. You got to do some work to try and remove all of it. I understand some people are vertically challenged. They can't. Step stools are amazing. You can do that. You can get extension rods to be able to clean the top of an SUV. I do it. I don't need to step on a step stool. I'm 6'5", but I do the work. Simply driving with 6 inches of snow on the roof and just creating a blizzard behind you, irresponsible. It can also lead you to getting a ticket. Now, I talked earlier very briefly, just a moment ago, about sheets of ice flying off. You got to try and remove that stuff. If a sheet of ice flies off and breaks someone's window, you are responsible for that. You have caused that damage. You are involved in that collision. Do the work. Okay. I am Pepsi. Okay. Pepsi, new logo and everything. And when the speed sign says 100, do I speed up to 100 after the sign? We talked about that already. Got you. Hi, the lane which are designed for. We talked about that. I was looking somewhere else. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. Just read. Cane Blade 2049 says police are people. Quit glorifying them. No, I'm gonna glorify the people who choose to serve their countries. The military. They are sacrificing. It's a life of service. Police are people who choose to serve. Not glorifying them. It's recognizing them for the amazing work they do, for the time they take away from their families and the risk that they take every day. If you go become a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, you work at McDonald's, you may be serving the public, but you're not putting your life at risk in the same way. They deserve more credit. They do. How about that hockey game? Don't know anything about the hockey game. Let's see here. Was there a hockey game? My kids like hockey. I don't watch hockey. What do you do if you sell a car and the person doesn't transfer the ownership and you get 407 charges? Linda, great question. This is where, and I did a video on this recently, actually on the VoiceOver Cop channel on TikTok, and I believe I posted it everywhere too. But the deal is, what you need to do is you need to go to the ministry and notify them of the sale. This is where you take photocopies or pictures of all of the information that you sold it to. Bob Jones. You have a picture of his license. You have the contract copy of who you sold it to. And I prefer to have that transaction done at the Ministry of Transportation, walk in with them, get it transferred right there. If someone's not willing to do that, what are they hiding? So many, unscrupulous players in the game who want to curbside, flip the car to somebody else without paying taxes, or just drive it without insurance. And if that vehicle gets towed, or you encourage, actually 407 charges, they got to have their plates. How did you sell a car with your plates on it? You'd keep your license plates. You don't give them away, because your license plates are what come back to your vehicle. Or if you forgot to get the the transponder. So 407 specifically shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be seeing charges because you should have your plates. So when you sell a vehicle, keep your license plates. You should not be giving away your license plates. They are yours. You're responsible for them. But interesting question. Linda, where are your 407s? You have to be in Ontario. Okay. Can you get a fine for having a faulty wiring harness for your license plate lights? You don't get a fine for faulty wiring harness. You get a ticket for not having a light on your license plate, which is a requirement under the law. So it's a $110 fine. You have to have at least one light on your license plate, and it must be 3 candela in strength or more. Or more? At least 3 candela? I'm going to reread the law. I believe it's 3 candela. Can you go 10 over? No more. This is Big Smoke asking. That's Big Smoke telling people that you can go 10 kilometers over. Let's scroll back. I'm really curious. Who are they answering to? Anthony. Hang on. Let's go see here. What is Anthony asking? I don't see Anthony's comment. But, here. Minimum speed, you can go over the limit and still get a ticket from the Gestapo cameras. Oh, Gestapo cameras. That's a pathetic description for them. Gestapo being Nazis, and cameras are there to enforce people who are breaking the rules. And breaking the rules, generally 10% over the limit is where it starts to go. I don't have a definitive number. They don't tell us because they don't want us to know, because then people will just drive right up into that limit when you shouldn't be speeding at all. So you're in an area with I have to go back to a comment that someone's making some ridiculous statements. But anyway, the deal is that you shouldn't be speeding. Now, if someone says 10 or more, I know that somebody got a ticket for 8. So 10 is not a freebie to do. It depends on the speed of the actual area. And 10 over and a 30 is a ridiculous amount over the posted speed limit. You deserve a ticket. Now, let's go here. So there's a whole bunch of discussions. So Northern Boy says, why don't cops pull people over for stopping in the merge lane for impeding traffic? So I don't know the specific scenario. You're talking about stopping at the beginning of a merge lane as they enter the highway. They should be ticketed for that. They're causing all sorts of traffic. You're supposed to zipper merge, go straight down to the end of the merge lane and merge like a zipper at the end, where everyone just becomes one, every other car. That's the appropriate and most effective way to merge. People who stop at the beginning just cause crappy traffic backup. Okay, moving down. So I covered that. So they only want things they can ask. So Cane Blade 2049 doesn't like police. I see. If you've been a cop longer than 4 years, you should no longer be allowed a sidearm. What? Yeah, silly Billy. Why are you so silly, Cane? All right, moving on. That's so Kane's the one who doesn't like police, and says don't glorify police. They're really offended by this. You're at the wrong channel if you don't like police. Just saying. And we're going to say goodbye to you. We're not saying goodbye. We're just saying stop talking. They are muted. All right. Dashman Cars and Comedy says, hey, bud, send you a private message. I look forward to reading your private message. Love your content, by the way. If you haven't seen Dashman Cars and Comedy, a funny guy with amazing cars. So, yeah. Let's see here. Anthony says, I think it depends on your personal experience with police, but they say never talk to the rule. Their number one rule is never talk to the police. You're talking to me right now. Well, I'm former police, but police aren't the enemy. Oh, Jake Norton says, police are legit the worst. Okay. Melvin says, be nice, polite to the police, and they will most likely reciprocate. Generally speaking, humans respond in the same manner that they are treated. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Okay. We got here, have an awesome Indigenous Wednesday. That's from Lisa. We got Manraj, who says, I work for a delivery company. I don't want to name it, but we are instructed to park anywhere except fire hydrant, and handicap parking spot, and all else parking ticket will be fully paid by the company. If they're willing to pay it, parking tickets are ultimately their responsibility. And Can you get in trouble for it? Well, if they tow the car, yeah, they're gambling. They're trying to choose breaking rules with efficiency in their industry. I get it. They're doing what they do, but is it right? No, it's not. They're being doo-doo heads. But yeah, you do what you got to do, right? Most major companies are negotiating large scale, like FedEx and all the major companies. They do what they want, and then they negotiate to some big number, and they call it cost of doing business. And you do what you got to do, but it's not right. Is anyone going to the auto show this year? I don't believe Toronto Police is going. I will be going to the auto show. Actually, I've got to follow up on my media credentials, but I'm probably going there on media day and at least one other day. So maybe we'll do a meetup and do a walk around as a group. Okay. The reboot doctors have had several reincarnations or regenerations. Is he the wearing a black leather jacket? This is the most recent one, 2024. It's a black dude who I don't remember his name. He's awesome actor who played in a TV show called Sex Ed or Sexual Edu. I don't know. It was on Netflix. Funny dude, like a very talented actor. And I think he was wearing like a fur-lined leather coat, possibly maybe. I wasn't really paying attention. It was the story, not the drip. BTSE booth eventually, but not this year. Okay. We're at 11:03, and I got to go, but I want to try and knock out a couple of others. I'll put Kayla's goodbye there. Actually, I got to do a dad joke. Okay, quickly. Gambit says, I wish the police would enforce more often. I agree, but unfortunately, they are absolutely overworked and understaffed. They're too busy to do everything. And then Justin Jr. says the same thing. A lot of polices are short members, need more officers. 100%. If you know people want to be police officers, encourage them. It's the best job in the world. The Real VR made it after registering and letting me know that they registered. They actually got onto the live stream. Awesome. Food basics. I think you're right. I think it's food basics, which I thought was Price Choppers for some reason. But I think you're right. Toronto Road Cams. Did my wife respond? Let's see if she agrees with you. She didn't respond. She's ignoring me. She's just busy. Okay. No frill. Oh, no, it's not food basics. It's no frills. It's no frills. It's like Bob's no frills. It's no frills. Thank you to Ashley and Anthony. And the Real VR says Freshco. I know about Freshco. That wasn't Freshco, but yeah. Awesome. You got it. Okay. What is this one? Okay. Limited vision vinyl. Who cares what what? Somebody, that's funny. Okay. A call from someone I don't know, so we're going to ignore that. What's the use? I got to find this comment just because it's disgusting. Of course, I need to. Oh, here it is. What do we got here? Oh, limited vision vinyl. They're having they're going all Gaza here. Why you got to go there? They're pro pal, and then they don't like me because of my name, and yeah, gross. Listen, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I don't care, but don't come in here and fill it with hate. It's gross. Okay, so first we report them for hate, and then we ban them from the channel. Just because. Okay. It's terrible that people have to waste their time with this. Block account. There we go. Mute account. There you go. Bye-bye. What about traffic? When did religion or war ever get into the traffic law discussion? Whatever. All right. What's the proper way to signal in traffic? Justin Jr. sent heart. Thank you so much. Let's see here. I don't understand what the ex-traffic cop got to do with that. Nothing. I'm assuming Aaron's talking about the discussion about the Middle East. Most Portville says, "Is there a way to report you for being too handsome, sir?" I haven't seen that button, and my wife agrees that I am handsome, but I don't think there's a reporting function. All right, I've gone over and gone creepy now. Oh, Free Oleg says, "Why'd you choose policing over firefighting? Why didn't I choose to be a hose monkey? Love the fire department, lots of friends there. I don't want to run up 100 flights of stairs carrying a hose. I first of all, I'm also a gun guy. It's a very different job. But the one thing I can tell you about firefighters is they cook amazing food. Because every collision I've ever investigated involving fire departments has been amazing food, and I also appreciate that." Um, Everyone loves them. It's the one big thing. Everybody loves them. Sorry, I read a comment from somebody else. I'm like, I need to make them a moderator. All right. I thinks Bell Mental Health Day. Bernhard, thank you very much. It is what is the official term? It is Bell Let's Talk Day, right? Yeah. It is absolutely. Although Bell has had all sorts of negative press surrounding this day, I will say that mental health is a real deal. If you having a hard time, talk to somebody, get help. There's people who care. We all care. I talk to people all the time, and I talk to people about life and hard stuff. I have cops who call me because they need to vent. I talk to people because I need to vent. Mental health is has a stigma that's negative, and it shouldn't. We have feelings, and sometimes they got to get out. So, if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like you need to talk to someone, there are programs, there are people who can be there for you. All right. Have a safe day. Have a great day. Dad jokes. I almost forgot. Dad joke. I decided to stop calling the bathroom the John. I've renamed it the gym. I feel so much better saying I went to the gym this morning. I didn't see that until it hit me. It was good. I went to the gym. Yeah, it's much better. A quote: "Nothing is more dangerous than a dogmatic worldview. Nothing more constraining, more blinding to innovation, more destructive of openness to novelty." Stephen Jay Gould, who I've never heard of before. Do you know who Stephen Jay Gould is? I appreciate the quotes. I appreciate the sharing of things I can share with everybody else. So putting the goodbye again. Stay safe. Remember, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Wise words from my friend Akela. Listen, be safe out there. Drive safely. Drive legally. Drive sober. No drugs, no alcohol. Do all that stuff, and we increase our odds of being home with our families at the end of the day. And it's for everybody. Shared responsibility. That traffic safety thing. All right. Summers 7781 says, "I messaged you and you haven't replied. I'll go look for your message, Summers." PR Jenkins 77 says, "Do you find there's more help for mental health for police officers now than we did 10 to 15 years ago?" Hi from Burlington. Yes, Bell, let's talk to. So absolutely, there's way more support, and it's not because I think it's just they're better employers. But the police agencies are better and more educated about helping their members now. There's more understanding about mental health than there ever has been, and taking it very seriously, because keeping police officers healthy mentally means keeping them liability low and keeping them on the road, because there are lots of people who used to go home and self-medicate with alcohol, and I think that's much less of an issue now because we're taking mental health seriously. I'll have to post up. I did a couple of discussions with therapists on a podcast with Toronto Police, and I'll have to share those episodes. Good stuff. Anyway, all the best. See you soon. See you Friday.